All right, welcome to the first ever Sunday social, or I guess that's what I'm calling it. Uh, I said I was getting on at 11. A few minutes late here, I went to start it and I hit my wife's phone, her work phone. It started making all kinds of noises, so I had to deal with that before I could uh, really get into it. But today's basically not about me. It's not about the monocle. It's not even about Contender Connection. It's about people trying to get their content out there. I know I started from scratch, and I'm definitely not big by any means, but I know the grind, and I know how difficult it is to get all of your stuff pushed out to everyone else and get eyes on it. And I've been inspired by Mike Fiella at Daddy's Home FF. He really he really has shown me what you should be, or what everyone should be doing on Twitter. And it's not, yes, like you want to make yourself big, but it's more important to make everyone big as a community. And get eyes on everyone, because there's so many smart people out there. There's so many people that are doing great things, great articles, great podcasts, and or even people that just want to get into it. It's I was inspired to do the podcast. And whether people want to listen to it or not, we get decent followers and decent listeners and everything. But it's just something that I was inspired to do, and I want to do it. And so if me coming on here and pushing out other people's stuff is going to help someone else get to that point, or make that decision to do it, then I definitely want to be a part of that. Now, like I said, Mike Fiella is the kind of the one that started all this with his Sunday retweets, retweeting everyone else's stuff, the timeline takeover. And I'm kind of just going along with that. So I'm basically just gonna be pushing out people's stuff. And I wanted to start out with a senior writer from ContenderConnection.com. Now, obviously, I said I'm not pimping out my website, but it's more about the writer, and it's at Dave Fantasy on Twitter. He's been pushing out articles, every week, 2-3 a week at my site, but he's also with other sites, Pregame HQ, and then I think he might have actually been writing for someone else. I'm not sure if he still is, but definitely check out his articles. He does the sneaky starts every week at Pregame HQ. He does the what caught my eye, and then also my mind just went blank. But he's also putting out another article every week. Oh, his Fantasy Crush, sorry. And so basically who he's fallen in love with each week. Definitely check that out at ContenderConnection.com and at Pregame HQ. I believe it's PregameHQ.com. But check that. The other thing is, if you listen to the Monocle, we had Mike on the show last week, or earlier in the week, and we have a big push to get Nubs at Nubs. It's on the bottom of the screen, to 600 followers. He's the new co-host of the Monocle. He really wasn't, putting out too much content or anything on Twitter. He was more of a follower in the past, but I'm trying to push him into the limelight. I'm trying to get him to actually, put out some articles and put out some things. He's more of a film guy, but we're going to force him into it, really. But more importantly, we have a goal by next Tuesday. We want to get Nubs to 600 followers, and we're well on our way, but we need all of your help. So go follow him. He's definitely going to be putting out a lot of stuff, but more importantly, you're going to want to hear that film analysis and everything from him on the Monocle. And I actually have an idea that I haven't really discussed with him yet, but I have a feeling he's going to be fully on board. And we're going to be putting out some videos here in the future, and we'll be putting that out through his through his page. So, like I said, this is kind of inspired by, or this is 100% inspired by Mike Fiella and his Sunday retweets. And so he sent it out saying, do you want to be on the Monocle? Do you want to be on a stream? Do you want your stuff retweeted? And we have about 40 retweets so far. So I'm definitely. I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into when when I started this. I basically just woke up this morning and decided that I wanted to. I was just inspired. I just wanted to do it, and here I am. So I have no idea what to expect. People might jump on with me. I'm not 100% sure about it. Dynasty Block is here. They have their podcast. They're great. They're actually a part of the Contender Connection as well, and their podcast is awesome. Go back and listen to the last one. They're discussing some of the some of the surprise players and everything from the season, going back and re-ranking some of their players. But definitely check out Dynasty Block. Actually, Ryan from Dynasty Block is actually writing articles for Contender Connection as well. He's doing a great job. He kind of deals with the matchup side of things and everything. Definitely check him out. One of the first ones that I got, DMs that I got, was from Kyle Allen, and he's with a Rider Dynasty podcast, and he actually had an article on RiderDynasty.com, and it says the playoffs are right around the corner. If you have a must-win matchup, this is a must-read article. Step into the clinic and get the latest injury news from at @KAllen_4 and the Next Man Up injury report week 13. Now, just being completely upfront and honest, I've never seen Kyle's article. I've never read it, but I'm definitely interested in the way he reached out, and he said he wanted to pay it forward and he wanted to help other people too. I can definitely see that that he's one of the good ones. So check out his stuff at RiderDynasty.com, and obviously check out the podcast as well. And hopefully I can talk to Kyle in the future. He said he was driving or riding in a car or something, so he couldn't really hop onto the stream, but wanted to get his stuff out there. One of the next ones I'm seeing is Bob Van, the IDP man, and I'm gonna try and see if I can share my screen here so you're not just staring at my face the whole time. And there we go. That's not really big enough, so here we go. So we got Bob Van, the IDP man, and it's, in case you missed it, below is a thread of my content. Included is IDP waiver wire, IDP rankings, IDP start sit part 1 and 2, and the Dream Stream team. So I know obviously IDP is a whole other beast. I'm only in one IDP league. It just so happens to be a 32-man league, so it's kind of crazy, but that's the only one. I'm definitely not an IDP expert, but I would love for you guys to go check out Bob's stuff. Definitely sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and especially with you scroll down, you see the waiver wire. I'm sure if you don't really know what you're talking about with IDP, that you're going to want to check out his stuff. Let's see if we can go back here. And Bob did say thank you, for pimping out his stuff. So I appreciate that, Bob. We're just trying to help you guys out here. Anyone that wants to jump on here, I put it out on Twitter, but I guess I should actually put it in the stream. But anyone that wants to jump on here and talk, you can talk about an article, you can talk about a podcast. If you just want to talk and Mike had said, this is a great way to, hold on, I guess I can stop sharing my screen, but this is a great way to kind of get started into it. If you're nervous about doing a stream, there's really no reason to be nervous here. We're not doing anything here. We're just talking about football. We're just pimping out people's stuff. So, nothing to be nervous about. If you want to talk football, if you want to talk about your articles, talk about a podcast, whatever it is, either DM me, jump in here into the comments and I can send you the link. Somebody asked me why I don't put the link out publicly, and I learned that lesson the first time I ever did a virtual happy hour, and I put the link out publicly because I wanted anyone and everyone to join. And then we had quite a few inappropriate people in the chat that were not wanting to talk about football or hang out. They were wanting to do other things. So that is why I don't put it out publicly. So please DM me for the link and I will gladly send it to you. But let's get back to the stuff. All right. So Joseph Griffin is here and he says, I don't put out much FF content yet, aside to contributing to a recent article with @IBT_media. But just notice I'm only 3 followers away from 600. Now, this was almost an hour ago. So let's see if Joseph is at 600. And he is. But you know what? He really wasn't asking for much. He was only asking for 3 followers. So why don't we get him up to 650 before the end of the day? And I know I have no clout. I'm not Mike, so I can't really do all of that. But I'm still saying let's get him up to 650 at the very least. But definitely go check out his stuff at In Between Media. And here, let's look at it. I'm guessing this is his... Oh, nope, that's from November. So that's definitely not it. Or actually, maybe it is. He said he doesn't really write too often. But, glad to see that he's getting into it. And hopefully we can see some more from Joseph here pretty soon. And All right, so this one I did see, and I was a little confused by it because Courtney said that she was 15 away from 300 followers. That's awesome. Can we make it? Mike tagged me in it, said, "Can we get her to 300 followers?" And I said, "Yeah." And then I clicked on her thing, and she at the time she's actually gone up a few, but she was at like 242 or something like that. So there's a little bit of fuzzy math there, but I still think we can get her to 300 followers by the end of the day. I don't know Courtney. But she is a nurse and a mom, and that's definitely important. We want to make sure that we're getting everyone followers on here. We want to build up the community and not just have like three important people. We want everyone to be able to get their voice out there. And all right, so Nate is saying that at IBT Media, they're having a holiday stream coming this Friday with tons of awesome guests. 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And looks like they're getting some vodka ready for everybody, and definitely will make sure that I have mine ready as well. But we're getting a lot of IBT Media at IBT Media love over here. And all right, so this is. Oop, I'm clicking on links when I should be clicking on that. So Rob Norton is talking about his DraftKings play, and obviously that's really important right now with everything going on. You have about 2 hours to set your lineups left for DraftKings. I actually just put mine in before I got started. I don't really do a lot of DFS. I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues, and so it doesn't really leave me a lot of time to set different lineups and things. But basically, I just like playing against some close friends and stuff like that. We do a weekly contest. If you guys ever want to join it, DM me once again for that, and I'll send you the link. I guess technically you still have a couple hours if you wanted to. I can send you the link for that. Excuse me. But yeah, definitely check out his DraftKings plays. Looks like Eckler and Montgomery are on the top of the list, or I don't know. I can't see the whole headline. Maybe he's saying fade him, but after last week's game, I highly doubt you're fading Eckler too much. And then he also has Rob also has a Week 13 stream team, and once again, I clicked on the link instead of that. But basically, I'm guessing he's talking about. Actually, no, I will click on the link. I want to kind of look into this one because it has my boy Denzel Mims on it. Yeah, it's your week 13 stream team: Ryan Fitzpatrick, Denzel Mims, and more. Mims, like I said, is one of my boys, but I actually have him started in I think 3 leagues this week. And obviously, you're never guaranteed anything with the Jets, but I do love me some Denzel Mims, and that boy is talented. He obviously has the upside to get you something, and it seems like he kind of has a floor with 10 points each of the last 3 weeks, I believe. So that is another good one from Rob at lastwordonsports.com. So definitely check that out. All right, we got a stir or sit question here. Not really what I was going for with this, but no issues answering questions. And it's start Lamar or Allen. I'm assuming it's Josh Allen, but yeah, you got to go with Allen here. Lamar hasn't practiced in 2 weeks. We have no idea how he's doing. He did have COVID, so we have no idea how it truly affected him. Obviously, he's coming back, so it didn't affect him too much. But it's not like Lamar's been lighting on fire anyway. So you gotta go with Josh Allen there, regardless of the matchup. I just can't trust Lamar. Let's see, and we got Kira's cash grabs for week 13, another DFS one. I love reading the DFS articles, even if you're not that into DFS. It's still great to see like who people are saying have the upside, who people are saying have the great matchups and things like that. So definitely check out Kira's cash grabs for week 13 at clubfantasyffl.com. And man, I actually love this because I follow Mike. Obviously I follow the retweets and everything every Sunday, but I've actually worked the last 3 Sundays, and I've been up on a roof every morning, and I really haven't had a chance to do too much with it, and so I haven't really been able to follow all the retweets and everything, all the love that Mike's sending everyone. But just being able to see all the love that he's showing to everyone. It's so awesome, and I've been a big part of it and loved having him on the episode. Uh, great, great podcast guest. If you ever need one, Mike Viella. But just make sure you put that explicit tag on your pod, because you know he's gonna be, he doesn't really have that filter, can we say? So the next one is from Marco Enriquez. Hopefully I said that right. And it is a 2021 Prospect Watch wide receiver edition. So this is, I'm guessing more of a DFS kind of deal. Or not, sorry, not DFS. This is more of a Devy kind of deal, which I really don't get into, even though I do host a Devy pod. I'm just the host, and I basically just ask the questions. But I'm guessing Marco knows quite a bit more than I do about Devy, and this is a great time of year to be going in, actually looking at the prospects coming in, because you want to get a start now. You don't want to be surprised by it come February, March, April. You want to know who you're going after and really start like diving in. And obviously we still have a couple weeks for them to possibly show us a little bit more. And so that's really cool. That's at goingfor2.com. Definitely check out Marco's work there. And then now Courtney was asking for some followers earlier, but she was also pimping out somebody else's stuff. So that's great. And that's why we want to get her to 300 for sure. But it was from Jeff Lambert. And it's, did you miss the latest from @LoveTractor3? A few of the most overvalued, undervalued fantasy assets for week 13. So you still have a little bit of time to check that one out before the week starts. And that's also another goingfor2.com article. So definitely check that one out. And that was from, I guess that was from this morning. Yeah, that was from this morning. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check because I have a few messages. I just want to make sure no one's trying to pop in. And while we're doing that, or look at XFL FP, the XFL fan podcast. Now I know that The Rock bought the XFL. I know it's probably coming back at some point, but that's pretty cool that there's still actually a podcast going on. I might have to check that one out, and you can find that on Apple. I'm assuming you can find it in other places as well. But I'd love to hear what they're talking about right now, and maybe there's actual news that I just don't know about. Maybe there is some like behind the scenes stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. But the XFL was a lot of fun, and it was so much better this time around. And, I really do hope they can come back, because it really had nothing to do with the actual XFL itself. It was really just all about, COVID, and it ruined so many things. But one of the big ones for us was it ruined the XFL, because it kind of seemed like it could almost be like a little bit of a minor league for football. And it is, I guess some of the guys on my chat are saying that this is buffering a lot. So I'm sorry. I don't think I have any control over that, because I'm pretty sure it all goes through StreamYard as far as the uploads and all that kind of stuff. So sorry about that. Unfortunately, I don't think it's anything I can control. But yeah, definitely check out the XFL FP podcast. And then we have another start sit question, and it is you have to bench one: Snell, Dobbins, or JT. All right, you're not benching Dobbins. You're not doing that. JT and Snell, obviously, like name wise, you're going JT. But JT really had like the one big week before that. He was sitting at like a 30% snap share, and so I'm still leaning. I'm still going with JT there. I think that's pretty easy. But Snell having, with Connor being on the COVID list, I believe he's still on it. Obviously, that puts Snell in the mix. But I think with the workload that JT had before going onto the COVID list, I think I would give him one more shot. Now, obviously, if you have to win this week, which, if you're asking sit questions, I'm guessing you kind of do. But if you have to win, how would you feel if you benched JT and he went off, compared to benching Snell and him going off? So yeah, I'm benching Snell. There's no way I'm playing. There's no way in Snell I'm playing him. Sorry about the bad pun. Uh, Oh, and I didn't even see it, but yeah, Andrew Hall, FF, he had the same dilemma, but he also had the same answer. He's benching Snell, and I definitely think that's the right call there. Which I mean, obviously anything can happen, but you just have to make the right choices. And going back to Ryan Polish from Dynasty Block, you know, he did an article a couple weeks ago just about not getting too cute, and you know that's pretty important. Is you just have to think of how would you feel if you bench this guy and he goes off and like that kind of thing. And yeah, you're not always going to be 100% right, but you know having the right kind of process is definitely more important there. So the next one is from the Dynasty Drive, and it looks like he's kind of giving out some love as well. Who's got some merch for their podcast, websites, etc., or just recently started a new Patreon or something to that effect? They want to support some of the incredibly hardworking men and women in the fantasy football community. So that's awesome. Definitely go follow Dynasty Drive. Anyone that's showing that kind of love, you got to give them a follow. In fact, I don't. Oh, I do follow them. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I haven't really interacted with them as much. You know, it looked familiar, but I just wanted to make sure. But actually, you know what? They're at 971 followers. Let's get them to 1,000 before the end of the day. They deserve that. That's a big milestone for people, and would love to see them get to 1K followers before the end of Sunday. Hopefully, they can win all their matchups as well, and then that way we can they can have a great day. The Dynasty Drive, and let's see. Give me 1 second here. So let's go back to the timeline here. We have Dave with the week 13 hot takes. And I love hot takes. That's kind of my thing. If you guys haven't listened, I do the take it or leave it pods during the off season, and you know it's basically just hot takes, and you kind of have to decide if you're going to take it or leave it. But let's go through these and see what it's all about. We have Justin Herbert outside the top 15. You know, I talked about this on our last weekly recap, and or what we learned, and it was basically saying, you know, like it seems like the the fairy dust is kind of worn off a little bit on Justin Herbert. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy is obviously going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, but you know, it seemed like he was going to break every single record ever for a rookie, and you know, basically be like the next Patrick Mahomes. And I'm while he does have the arm talent and he does have talent, and obviously he can even get better. You know, it's only year one. I don't think I feel like we're kind of, you know, coming off of that a little bit, and so I could definitely see him being outside the top 15. You know, he was at such a high touchdown rate going into the week, you know, earlier in the season, and so you know it seems like that's kind of cooling off a little bit. And while you're never, you know, guaranteed that, you know, regression's going to hit weekly or anything like that, you know, it just definitely seems like he's kind of coming back down to earth, like I said. Taysom Hill with 100 rushing yards. Now that one's kind of hot because, I mean, I get he did qualify it as a hot take, so nothing wrong with that. But Taysom is a good running quarterback. That's about all I can say about him. But he is not Lamar Jackson. He is not Kyler Murray. And and really, you don't beat the Falcons on the ground. You beat them through the air for the most part. Now I know he had a great week a couple weeks ago against the Falcons, but I don't believe he hit 100 rushing yards in that game. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, that one seems a little hot. I don't think I'd be hitting the over on that one for sure. Dalvin Cook with 250 scrimmage yards. Now that feels like the hottest so far because A, Cook is hurt. B, I feel like they're kind of wanting to limit his workload now because they realize that he's not Derrick Henry, and yeah, I don't see 250. In fact, I might even go as far as I don't see 100 or 150. So 250 almost seems like just out of this world. But you guys probably don't want to sit here and listen to me go through all of his hot takes, but definitely go check out his stuff. Check out Dave at DKLUGE90. I'm guessing it's Kluge. I don't know, but yeah, definitely check him out and go give him a follow. Then we got Steeman Beeman at Willie Beeman DFF. and he's got an article at the dynastyfootballfactory.com, and it's a year without fantasy football. And it looks like it's kind of offers insight into it, what a year without football would have looked like. I'm gonna check it out real quick, do a quick little skim over it, and it's basically just talking about how people, he's hearing a lot of people complaining about, oh, we have this guy out because of COVID, we have this and everything, but what could it have been? What would it have been if we just didn't have football at all? And so basically, we should just be appreciative of what we do have, and hopefully we're all happy and healthy and everything. And definitely sounds like an article that you should check out. Go check that one out at dynastyfootballfactory.com. And not gonna lie, like I said, I kind of thought that I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of thought that I would have some people that would want to jump on and talk about their stuff, talk about a podcast, or really anything. But I didn't know what to expect. It was kind of last minute. I didn't really put it out there into the world that I was doing this until about 9 a.m. or something. So I guess if you guys are still watching, if you're still following, then we'll just keep going through the timeline and seeing what's going on. I'm just gonna check real quick and make sure that I haven't missed any DMs for that. No. Okay. All right. So the next one is from Ryan Weiss, and that is he says, I love streaming and I love writing this article, but I hate quarterbacks right now. I kind of actually noticed this myself. I was looking, like I said, I really only do like one DFS lineup, but there weren't too many quarterbacks that I was like, man, I really love their matchup this week. And even then, like even if you do love the matchup, look at Derek Carr last week where everyone was all over Derek Carr. And, then he goes and puts up, depending on your league, like 2 points, negative points and that kind of thing. But, he says, Kirk Cousins has hit for me twice this season, and it'll soon be a third, right? Right? But yeah, definitely go check out Ryan's stuff. He's at the Fantasy 5, and it looks like he has some good stuff, asking the right questions for sure. Then we got, we got Justin Wright at Justin_14P, and he has a YouTube channel, and it is, it's at 14p_pod YouTube channel, and he wants people to go subscribe so they can check it out. 3 episodes each week, plus all the great things they have for the playoffs and the off season. So I love video content. I love watching anything to do with fantasy football. I love listening to it. Definitely go check out Justin. And I don't know, he might need to update the picture because I'll share the screen again. He might need to update the profile pic because it looks like he's still in kind of Halloween time, and I don't know about you guys. I got my tree up. It's time. I want to see him in a Christmas tree outfit before the end of the day. And while we're at it, let's get him to 1,500 followers. He's very close to that milestone. I don't know. I guess it's just coincidence, or maybe we're always looking for milestones, but it seems like there's a lot of these guys and gals are very close to some milestones. So let's get Justin up there. In fact, I do not follow Justin on this account at least. And so there we go. Justin just got to follow. Now he's at a very nice 1469. All right. Next we have the Fantasy Ladder, and it's dynastyprosfootball.com. Check them out, and it's Rookie Watch. And so I'm going to check this one out real quick, do another quick skim, not scam. And he's talking about, obviously just talking about all your rookies, running backs, wide receivers. He's talking about Gibson, Judy, KJ Hamler, Joshua Kelly, Colin Johnson. So he's diving deep on this. I like, when you're not just talking about the same guys, you're not just talking about your J.K. Dobbins and your DeAndre Swifts, although that makes me kind of sad thinking about DeAndre with, man, he finally got the workload. He finally looked good, and then he gets a concussion. And I've been talking with my guys in my group chat, and we're pretty concerned that he might actually be shut down here pretty soon, because it seems like he's having issues with that. With that concussion. But check that out at dynastyprosfootball.com. And then we have Kyle on the Couch FF. the Dynasty Self-Help Podcast, episode 22, The Value Summit. And this is one that I do not have on my list right now. I'm going to see. I listen on Google Podcast, and not every podcast is there. It's just what I've always listened to my pods on. But I'm going to look it up right now and see if it is there. Self-Help Podcast. There it is. Dynasty Self-Help Podcast. Subscribe. All right. So I am now subscribed, and it looks like... There it is. Yeah, episode 22, Value Summit, hour and 26 minutes. I love the longer pods. I put my headphones in every day at work, and I just listen to podcasts all day long. So I will definitely be checking out Kyle and the Value Summit. Probably not going to get to it today with football and everything, but I'll definitely check it out tomorrow at work. And then I'm going to check on... I want to check on... Nubs. I want to see if we have him some new followers, because the last time I checked he was at like 275 or something around there, and I want to see... I'm not going to do it on the screen because I don't want to lose my spot of where I am. All right, so we have Timmy at Nubs, as you can see on the bottom. We have him at 294 followers. We got to get him to 300 at the very least today. But if we're going to make our goal of 600 by Tuesday, we really got to get him to like 400 or more by the end of the day. I know some of the guys in my group chat had said this is buffering. Hopefully it's gotten better. Once again, I don't know if I have any control. I really don't think I have any control over that. So, but go check out at Nubs, and let's get him to 600 for sure. And I'm going to ask if it's any better. I'm not getting a lot of comments, so I'm kind of guessing that maybe it's not, and maybe I'm doing this for no reason. But hey, I don't care. Not here for me today. We're here for the people. All right, so the next one is Mason J. Riney, and at Cali King 49er 17, and he's another IDP guy. Definitely interested in reading the IDP stuff. It's 5yardrush.co.uk. So we got us a UK boy, I'm assuming. And let's go back to the share so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it is, 5yardrush.co.uk. Check out his streamers, and you still have a little bit of time. You can get that in and make some changes before the end of the week, hopefully. Or before the week starts, I mean. I'm so used to Thursday Night Football that I always feel like, the week's already, partly done. But we haven't even had football this week, even though we had it on Wednesday. All right. And Average Joe's Fantasy Football says, thanks again, Daddy's Home, FF, for the love. Once again, I don't know how you could possibly be following me and not following Daddy's Home, FF, Mike Viella. But if you're not, for whatever reason, fix that mistake right now. You need to be following him. He doesn't really ask for followers, or he doesn't ask for followers at all. And he doesn't expect it at all. He's just showing people love. But definitely check him out. Omega's saying it's better for right now, at least. So hopefully we can continue that. I would hate for it, I would hate for people not to really be able to watch this because it's buffering so bad or anything. But back to Average Joe's. They have a YouTube channel, and they are well on their way to hitting 150. They're excited for the growth and support. Help us get there. Plus, they have a giveaway. That's awesome. So I'm going to click on the link here. Oh, no, I'm clicking on videos. I'm going to actually click on the link, and I'm going to subscribe so I can become part of... Oh, they're at 123. And now they are at 124. And I'm hoping to be a part of that giveaway. It doesn't really explain exactly what the giveaway is or how it's happening, but go check out their stuff. It's at AverageJoes_FF, and then they have the link there. Obviously, all of these pages, all of these retweets are on Mike Viella's page at Daddy's Home FF. So I'm just kind of going over things quickly, but as you if any of them piqued your interest, or if you want to go follow these people, subscribe to their YouTube channels, probably the easiest thing would be to go to Mike's page and just scroll through the feed, and hopefully we can do that. But man, I don't know. These names today are are scaring me. I don't want to say them, but I'm guessing Ewan. I don't know. It's Ewan Leith, and it's EUAN or you out on Twitter. And he keeps putting the Falcons DST in all of his DFS lineups because I think they can bottle up Hill. And I don't know if that was in response to something, but that's. I mean, they definitely did not bottle him up a couple weeks ago, but I think we also saw that Hill's not exactly what he looked like that first week either. So it definitely isn't a terrible idea. I'm sure the Falcons defense is pretty cheap, so it is definitely something to think about, but not really pimping out anybody's stuff there. Just asking questions. We have Nick Sarnelli at Nick Sarnelli on Twitter, and he has a new article or a scouting report on Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure a lot of people are really excited about this kid, but you can never get enough scouting when you're talking about these players, because we see people be hits and misses all the time, players be hits and misses all the time. So obviously Nick here is not saying he's going to miss, as he's saying he's the 2021 QB1. And I know, that probably wasn't that hot a year ago, and it's probably still not considered hot, but it's definitely, you have some people giving Fields some love, and even some of the other quarterbacks, Trask and whoever else, some love. So go check that out at ffastronauts.com. And I don't know why I got out of that, because I was just trying to go to the next one, but here I am. And I don't know, hopefully you guys are following along. Hopefully we're introducing you to some new people here, and but more importantly, we want to try and get some followers to these people, obviously get some followers to Nubs, and hit these milestones. The last one I'm seeing on this thread, which I'm sure there's more than this, I just have to go find them, is T-Strack Best Ball UK, and it's at Best Ball UK NFL. And once again, it's Week 13 DFS value picks, and you can never get enough of those. Go check that out, and that is at NFL-DFS.com, and it's the Week 13 prime picks. And basically just looking for whatever value you can get, which is obviously so important for DFS. So I'm going to go back here and look at Mike's page, see if we have any new ones. There might be a new thread here, but all right, so while I'm doing that, I'm also going to check Nubs again, see if we got him some new followers, because I want him to be to 300 before we finish the show. He's still at 294. We need 6 followers for Nubs before the end of the show. I think we can at least do that, get him to 300, get him to that milestone, and then we can go from there. And now, of course, I lost Mike's page. I'm going to go back there and see what he's retweeting, because we know that he was giving a lot of people love. All right. So I don't know if I covered this or not, but the fantasy ladder is 12 followers away from 400. And let's go back to the page here. So we got the fantasy ladder at Fantasy Ladder on Twitter. He's at 393 followers right now. Let's get him to that 400 milestone before Sunday football, and let's make his day for sure. And then, all right, so we have another question here. Need help this week at QB and flex. Carr or Goff? Both sucked last week. It's very true. And a flex, Mostert, Drake, or Brandon Cooks. Thanks for the help. And that's from at BenJam227. And, we have Mike here. He's saying Carr and Mostert, are his choices there. Man, I don't want to go against Mike here, but how can you trust Carr after last week's game? I know it's the Jets, but man, trust me, they were both terrible. But I don't know. I always have trouble going with Carr any point. In fact, last week was the only time that I really put Carr in any lineups, and it was only in DFS and in one league. And of course, it completely backfired on me, and I'll probably never do that again. And that's not really a great process, but that's kind of how you get in fantasy and in dynasty. I'm definitely going with Mostert there as the flex. I feel confident in him. You know, he's a stud when healthy, and he is healthy right now. And honestly, I can't really go against Mike here. Like, you could probably flip a coin on Carr or Goff, and either one of them will probably be fine, or both of them will be terrible. But yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. I wonder. I mean, I don't know if that's dynasty or redraft, but I'm wondering if they have better options on the waiver wire, because I had actually, like I said, in that one league where I started Carr last week, I had Carr and Goff, and I was able to pick up Baker Mayfield off the waivers. And I know you guys are probably like, "Oh my God, Baker Mayfield," but he's in a great spot. He had that terrible weather that explains away the 3 games in a row where he basically did nothing. And yeah, so now it's popping up and saying that it is having issues streaming to Periscope, and this may be an issue on Periscope's end. So once again, this might be all for naught if you guys haven't been able to watch this. It doesn't sound like it was my fault. Periscope's having some issues, but that is not great. In fact, I've streamed to Periscope weekly now for months and haven't had any issues, and yet on Sunday morning we try to pimp out some people's stuff, and all of a sudden Periscope can't handle it. But yeah, back to Baker. So if Baker's out there on your waivers, he's actually a great start. I'm not saying to start him every week or anything. Obviously, it's matchup dependent. He's not always going to have the volume, but this week for sure, I feel pretty confident with them, especially when you're talking about versus Carr or Goff. And then we have we have Sleeper Wire at Sleeper Wire Show on Twitter. Make sure that you're subscribed to all platforms so you get alerts when they're live. Join the hashtag Blitz Crew at 10:30 a.m. to settle your lineups. Obviously, it's 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, so you're probably a little late for that. But go ahead and subscribe to their stuff so that you can check them out in the future. And they actually have a call-in, 205-76-SLEEP. That's actually pretty cool. You can call in and kind of talk to the show like a legit radio show. I like that. Anthony Servino at The Real NFL Guru is live as well. And, maybe this is why Periscope's having so many issues. Maybe everyone's live right now. And so it does seem to actually, you can see it on the screen, or at least I can. His is buffering as well. So it just seems like Periscope is having some issues right now for whatever reason. But they're doing inactives, injuries, lineup questions, all that kind of stuff. So definitely check out Anthony. Now, last time I checked, Anthony was at like 11K followers. So not that he doesn't need more, but we're not hitting any milestones today for him. And we got Mugs Fly Together, and they're doing a Sunday game day sale. Let's see if they expound on what the sale is, but they have their mugs. To whom it may concern, please start winning. Sincerely disappointed fan. I like that. Here, I'm going to click on their link and see what the sale is. And so let's see. Oh, here, I can drag this over here so you guys can see. It's normally $24.50, a couple dollars off. Go get that mug. Let's see if they have. They just have different sizes and things. The 15 ounce is $3 off, but definitely check that out. I'm assuming that they have a lot more than just the one, but that's definitely pretty fun, pretty cool. And there's definitely been some weeks where I could have been sipping my coffee out of those mugs. And follow them at Mugs Fly Together on Twitter. All right, and let's see. Mike's pimping me out on this one. John's showing you your content some love. Check him out. Yeah, hopefully you're able to. I have no idea. That's the problem with streaming, is I don't know if it's working or not. And then we have Jeremy at JERSCHWOB on Twitter, the Psychology of Dynasty Ownership series on DLF. I love anything to do with psychology for, fantasy purposes, or, like really like diving deep into process and things like that. I I love being analytical. I love thinking about fantasy and not just being like, hey, look at the box scores from last week and then start that guy. Like I want to actually, I want the right process. I want to continue that on. So I would love to check that out. Check that out at DLF. And while I'm thinking about it, I really do want to pimp out. He hasn't asked for it, but I want to pimp out FF Spaceman's database. And so I'm going to go to my website. What you're going to do is you're going to go to contenderconnection.com. You're going to click on pages here. You're going to go to the weekly metrics database. And then we have both. We have Spaceman's weekly database and we have Peter Howard's database. Both awesome. Both have so much information. You could spend the entire week looking at these databases. But I'm going to show you guys, in case you're new to it, a little bit about it, because it's really made me a better fantasy player, dynasty player. But it even helps you with like weekly matchups and some of these decisions that we're having to make. So it's not always about like the grander picture. Sometimes it's literally just like, do I start this guy or this guy? And then you go look, and maybe you decide, okay, well, this guy's getting 56.4% of the snap share, and this guy's getting 97.4. Now, obviously, that was comparing a running back and a quarterback. You're not going to do that, but you can go in here. You can make temporary filters, take out your positions. So I can take out everyone except for wide receivers, and then now we just have wide receivers. And then you can go in and compare, the snap share, how often they're in the slot rate, how many routes they're running. Let me get over there. Yeah. So how many routes they're running. You can even sort it by that. So you can see, Mike Evans is actually running the most routes. He's actually run the most routes this season. And, that might surprise people. People are kind of down on Evans and, thinking like he hasn't been getting targeted as much. And obviously he's had a lot of touchdowns, but the truth of the matter is it's really more a Tom Brady issue than anything else. But Evans is out there. He's running routes. He's making the most of things. He has 11 touchdowns this season. So gotta love that. But there's just so much information here: catch rate, targets, target share, air yards, Whopper, racer, and there's a glossary. So if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about when I say Whopper, racer, or anything like that, there's a whole glossary here, because I'm sure Dave had a lot of questions about, what is racer, what is Whopper, what exactly are evaded tackles, like what makes something an evaded tackle, that kind of thing. So the glossary is there. You can go just to the latest week here, week 13, or you can go to, the full season to get a grander, broader picture, all that. But, more importantly, just go follow FF Spaceman, at FF_Spaceman if you aren't already for some reason, and definitely check out his database. He puts a lot of work into that. I talk to him almost daily, and I know how much time and effort and the lack of sleep that he has because of it. But but definitely check that out. And while we're on the site, I'm just gonna go to Dave Fantasy's latest article, and actually, this is his article from earlier in the week, and he was loving on some James Robinson. Definitely check that out. But then he also has his Something Caught My Eye, week 12, and he covers so many different players. Robbie Gould, Cam Akers. Yeah, we even talk about kickers here. Linda would love it at Lindellians. She would love it. But that was a good one. And then I talked about it earlier, but Ryan Polish from Dynasty Block put out his top buys and sells under 25 years old. So go check them out. Obviously, give them a follow at Dave Fantasy and at Dynasty Block if you haven't already. But enough about that site. I just wanted to kind of shout out FF Spaceman, Dave Wright, and some of the guys from the Contender Connection for sure. That's an ad. Sean Weymouth at Delray Boston. Week 13 fantasy football. The playoffs are around the corner. Are you in? Do you need a win? They have start sits, waivers, and much more. And that's at realdealfantasyhq.com. And it looks like they're doing a live stream too. Let's click on it and see when it is. Oh no, okay, so it's not a live stream. It's actual questions, and it looks like they're updating the list, updating the answers, and so give them a click, check that out. And if you have any start sit questions, definitely check it out and get those questions in there. We have another starts. Oh no, we already did that one from Jared, so never mind. And then we have Bob Gilchrist, one of Mike's favorites. He at RB Gilchrist on Twitter. Do you have any start sit questions? At Join Our Circle is here to help. Drop your questions and someone from the amazing team will respond. So just go check them out. Go to at Join Our Circle _ give them a click, give them a follow. I thought I was following them. There we go. All right, and now I am, and they'll answer your questions, start sit, and all that kind of good stuff. Obviously, you can throw a comment in here if you have any start sit questions. I can definitely answer it for you. This is another promotion. Twitter, enough with the freaking ads, man. Like, holy crap. Bob has another one from fantasyintervention.com, and it's another one about James Robinson. I wonder how much love Bob's giving him, because I know, like I just talked about how Dave Fantasy was showing some love. His fantasy crush is James Robinson, so I wonder if they kind of had similar ideas, going forward. But it's a great question, though. James Robinson looks like the real deal, but we know he's an undrafted free agent. We know that he doesn't have that draft capital to where people are, can really feel 100% confident in him for the upcoming years. But I mean, the guy's legit. You can't question that. And going back to Dave's database, that was one of the big things. Is I really didn't believe in Robinson in the beginning of the year, and then I started looking into the database, and it was like, man, he's doing all the things that these stud running backs do. He's evading tackles. He's breaking off big runs, but more importantly, he's getting those opportunities. And when you see a guy with a 100% opportunity share in a backfield, that doesn't happen very often, and it's actually pretty special. So, I feel pretty confident in James Robinson, and I mean, I guess it could come back to bite me in the butt, but I have no issues if someone's worried about him going and trading for him. But check out Bob's article at fantasyintervention.com. That's pretty cool. And like I said, it's very important topic right now. We have some more DFS stacks. I think we already talked about this one with Ewan. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm pretty bad with names, but check out his at 14personnel.com for the DFS stack. Week 13. And then JB, one of my favorite guys on here, he showed me a lot of support in the beginning when we first got started out. He's always retweeting my podcast. He's always retweeting basically anything I put out. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show a couple times, and I absolutely love their Dynasty Theory show. That they always talk about the important stuff. They actually dive deep into the process and everything, like I was talking about before. And it's not just the same, like talking about the same, 12 guys over and over or anything like that. So check out JB at the Bauer Club. If you don't follow him for whatever reason, obviously give him a follow, and Dan and Mitch as well at Dino MC, and at Dan, I think it's Dan Lamagna something. I'm sorry, Dan. I don't remember off the top of my head. But check them out. Check out Dynasty Theory. You can listen to them basically anywhere. And they also put it on here for live streams as well. Check out all that. And they're doing a Sunday brunch. I guess that's live right now. Yeah, it is. All right, so once again, it seems like everyone and their mother is doing a live stream right now, and that's probably why Periscope is having issues. But if you're done listening to me, then go check them out and their Sunday brunch. Definitely interested to hear what they have to say. Um, we've already talked about Best Ball UK NFL. I may have actually gotten through all of them. I don't know. Let's see what Faith has to say. All right. Do you guys watch YouTube videos? Yes. Do you subscribe to channels on YouTube? Yes. Do you also drink hard seltzer? Not as much, but I do drink alcoholic beverages. So I'm still saying yes. Today at the club or at Club Fantasy FFL YouTube page hit 70 subscribers. Our first goal is 100. That is where my proposition comes in. We are at okay. Obviously, I can't talk right now. We here at Club Fantasy are huge champions for women in fantasy football. That's awesome. I know there's been a lot of grief. People giving the women in fantasy football grief lately. I'm definitely not on board with that. Obviously, check out Faith. Check out. There's so many good women on here. I don't have time to go through all of them, but let's see what she has to say. So in September, we launched our inaugural Women of Fantasy Football event, hashtag WOFF, WOFF, where we went live every Wednesday with some of the most badass women in fantasy football. If you missed them, they're on our YouTube channel. You should go check them out. Obviously do that. Well, we here at CF are also big fans of Truly Lemonade and other hard seltzers. So to commemorate the launch of hashtag WOFF, I had 10 skinny can koozies made. The only people who have these are hashtag WAF team, but here's your chance to get one. That's pretty cool looking. I like it. And obviously, if you're drinking seltzers, you know that a normal koozie does not fit them, and that can be annoying, I'm sure. Once they hit 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel, I'm not going to get all. We will figure out a way to get this into the hands of our fabulous subscribers. Our YouTube channel isn't just a place to catch us live. It's also home to all of our past shows and the exclusive place to find all episodes of At the Speakeasy FF. So go check it out. And I'm going to click on it right here. And I'm going to drag this over here. And I'm going to click the subscribe button and the bell. Bam. So that is done. They're at 81. So they need 19 more subscribers to get to that point. And then we can hopefully, somebody that truly drinks Trulies can go ahead and win one of those, because that's pretty cool. But to all the guys out there, there's some really good women in the fantasy football community, and they know what they're talking about. They're not just pretty. They're not just that. They can be both. So obviously, don't be a dick. How about that? Let's keep going. Gary's already subscribed. He was hoping to check it out, or hoping to help out, but he's already subscribed. That's awesome. Hopefully he can be one of the ones that wins the koozies. And I must still be on her thread. Sorry about that. You know what? I'm going to take a break for a second, and I'm going to check on Nubs again, see if we got him any more followers. And we got him one. He's at 295 now. So I guess we could say we're well on our way. I don't know. We're on our way. I don't know if we're well on our way. But let's keep it going. I'm going to check once. I'm going to check my messages once again to make sure I don't have anyone trying to jump on. Okay, so I actually have. It's a good thing I checked, because I have some people that DM me for start sit questions and everything, and I have one from a friend, Dan, and he's looking for somebody in his Superflex slot. He's asking, should he start Lamar, Stafford, Darnold, Dobbins, or Mike Williams? He's leaning Dobbins, with Lamar still on the COVID list. Now, it does sound like Lamar's coming off the COVID list, even possibly today, and that he should play. Excuse me. But what's important about that is, A, he should play. He's not guaranteed to play. B, he's been on the COVID list for 2 weeks. He hasn't been able to practice. We have no idea. We know he's in shape, but 2 weeks of not really doing too much is, can make a huge difference. And so we don't know if he's going to be, 100% or anything like that. But more importantly, he's playing on Tuesday. So you're not going to really be able to play anyone else or bank on anyone unless you have Trace McSorley. And so it just seems like Lamar is definitely the most risky out of all of them. I don't trust Stafford at all right now, especially with Kenny Golladay out. He just hasn't been able to hardly do anything. And, I would love to say Darnold, but man, the Jets team is just so bad. Then again, Las Vegas defense is pretty bad as well. I love me some J.K. Dobbins. I'm probably leaning Dobbins as well, but I might actually go Darnold there. I think I'm going to respond with just, oh man, actually, hold on. I'm going to go look at Darnold's week last week because I know it was his first week back, but I want to see what kind of numbers he did. I don't have too much of Darnold this year, so I am not really keeping great track of him. And let's see real quick. So he had 6.98 points. He threw the ball. He had 27 attempts, 16 completions. Now that was against a stout Miami defense. Obviously, like I said, going up against Las Vegas is very different. So I'm leaning Dobbins there for sure, especially that they might really just force the run game with Lamar not being 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and respond to him with that, and hopefully that process made sense to you guys. Let's get back to pimping out people's stuff. So we have the Dynasty Junkies podcast. You like trades? We got trades galore in this bonus episode. Ooh, a bonus episode. We do find me a trade for 3 contending teams who have deadlines looming. Kyle, unfortunately, I don't think it's you. It's actually it's actually Periscope. It seems like they're having an issue. They actually popped up saying that they were having an issue streaming to Periscope, and it seemed like it was on their end. So it's probably not you, although I guess I have no idea. You said you were on the road, so maybe it could be you. Hopefully you guys can hear me, but let's get back to it. The Dynasty Junkies podcast, I love this kind of stuff where you're actually doing legit trade questions for legit teams, and it's not just, oh, I think you could trade this guy for a third. It's you're actually looking at teams and saying, who could you trade this guy for? What should you be doing? And everything. And that's at Dynasty Junkies Pod, at Dynasty Junkies on Twitter, and they have their link tree here, and you can check out the pod wherever you listen. Scott Simpson, hilarious guy. We had him on the happy hour one time, and that was definitely probably one of the craziest happy hours that we've had. But they're actually, I believe they're streaming. Oh no, that was from 12 hours ago. So yeah, that was from last night. But they have a stream. Him and Bo McBigtime. Sorry, I don't know who that is, but definitely go check them out and check out their stream. I know that the Scott's hilarious, and he likes to keep it fresh and fun on his streams and everything. Now Matt at Matt FF Dynasty is talking about one of the players that I've actually put in a couple articles and things, and it's Darnell Mooney. And you know what? There's a lot up in the air with the Bears. They really, Mooney could be the number 1 wide receiver as of next year. And I wasn't super excited about Mooney coming out, but the more I looked into his profile and the more I just saw him playing, it's, even though he hasn't put up like eye-popping numbers or anything, it really hasn't been his fault. A lot of it was Nick Foles' fault. And, we see that, obviously Foles isn't the starter anymore and everything, but yeah, just like Matt's saying, he was one of the most interesting players from the draft after being drafted in the 5th round. He's flashed upside on occasions, but he's yet to fully break out, and it's so true. So he's one of those guys that could break out in the future, could be something big at times, but yet you probably don't have to pay that much for him. But go check out. Let me see where it's at. It's a whole thread. So yeah, go check out the thread. It looks like it's on the Fantasy Football Astronaut site, but check out his thread. And I guess it said thread at the top. I probably should have actually read it, but but he's got some videos in there, and that is very interesting. I'm definitely going to check that out later. And let's let's see. We got Hammerjack's show, at Hammerjacks1. They have some more DraftKings top plays, fades, stacks, and sleepers, and that's actually a podcast, so you can listen to that before it all starts. That's on Apple. I'm assuming they're also on a bunch of other feeds as well. And they also have an article on start sit columns from Chris Moore at fantasy_more, and that's spelled more like DJ Moore. And that's at hammercast.com. So check out the article. And Marco's asking for start sit questions. We already talked about Marco, but check him out at Marco_14P. I'm just going to go quickly. I've been going for over an hour here. I don't want to go too long because I know people, have to set their lineups and, go check out some of these articles and stuff I've talked about, especially the DFS ones. But let's go through them really quickly. First Seed Sports at First Seed Sports on Twitter. Rise and shine. Our starts of the week are in. Watch who we're throwing in our lineups this week. G-Man J, I just kind of got to know him more recently, so I don't know a lot about him, but I do know that he shows a lot of love like Mike. He's always retweeting stuff. He's been retweeting my stuff, and it seems like he's doing a lot, actually. 10 things you need to know for Week 13 at Going for Two. Week 13 start sip collab with Justin at Justin_B at Sleeper Wire Show. At Going for Two Live, War Room Live with Eagle Dan FF and Jim Coventry NFL. The links are below in that thread. So, I'm really going crazy here with the scrolls, but yeah, check out Jay, check out his stuff. It seems like he has a lot going on. And then Pro Football Mania, Pro Football Man 1 has a Julio Jones piece, and it's a last minute injury report. So you want to talk about something you should check out before the week really gets started. You definitely need to check out the injury reports, make sure that you have the right people in, the right people out, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Troy King had to get a Photoshop in there, and he's choosing Ferkser this time. And actually, I kind of like that. I put Ferkser into a lineup or two, and with Jonnu being out once again, going back to the Pro Football Mania injury report with Jonnu being out, Ferkser is actually a good start, and Troy's all over that one. I love that. Love his Photoshops. And man, I don't want to miss anyone. I feel like Mike when he was doing the whole retweets and follow train with Matthew Berry, where he's like, I can't miss anyone, I can't forget anyone. He stayed up all night, and I don't want to we talked about so many people's sites and articles and podcasts and everything today. I don't want to miss anyone, but we have the Fantasy Impact today at FIT O'Day, FI today, and the whole crew have made their NFL picks for Week 13, and they have it all there, pretty easy for you. So, if you're betting the games, if you're betting the lines, that's definitely something you need to check out and check them out. It looks like, let's see, who's winning. It looks like John and Bobby are in a tie for the lead, so you might want to follow them, but everyone's pretty close there, so it seems like they're all putting in some pretty good picks. And then, man, I think I did it. I think I got through all of them. I'm sure there's probably some new ones. I'll scroll back up. Try it again. We got Cooter Doodle. She's am I doing this right? Who would you replace? And that's not a DFS lineup. That's what I thought it was at first. That's a DTF lineup. That's completely different, although still important. All right. So this was the first ever Sunday Social. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I don't even know if you guys have been able to listen to this because of the issues with Periscope. But hopefully you have been able to. Maybe I can put the link on YouTube. That way, people can check it out. Hopefully this is something that we can continue on. At the very least, make sure that you're checking out Mike's page every Sunday from 11 to 1, where he's just retweeting everyone's stuff and, just showing everyone some love. Try to be better as a community. We all can be better. We can all, support each other more and help each other out more. My DMs are always open if you have any questions, if you have any start sit questions, if you have just if you need help starting a podcast, if you need help trying to figure out how to do things with podcasting, websites, articles, any of that. I'm not saying I'm this expert or anything, but I do have experience with it, and I'm definitely willing to help you guys. So there wasn't a lot of like hard hitting stuff on this one or anything like that, but hopefully we got some eyes on people's content, which is what we were trying to do. And I say I mean me and Mike. I was really just kind of riding his coattails there, but for now I'm going to go, I guess, get ready for football, figure out what I'm throwing on the grill, and I will be back on here tomorrow night for the weekly recap or the What We Learned pod, and then I'll also be back on Wednesday, I believe, and we'll be doing another Monocle Dynasty podcast stream. So check that out and get Nubs to 600. Hopefully you can go back and follow all those people that we were trying to hit those milestones with. And I, wish you guys the best of luck. I'm out of here.